Alrighty, I have continued to place these on here. One thing I have done though is I figured out that I need to put them every 4 lines and that it goes around perfectly symmetrically with 72 lines, dividing the 18 into 4. But I have figured out an easier way to place this on these lines here. So what we'll do here, I'll walk you through the finishing stages of this. Okay, we're going to go Shift D on the Y-axis, and we're going to move that over. And we're going to grab, we're going to push G and then Z. We're going to go up here. Come back down a little bit. Okay, what I want to do here is grab Y, grab Z, grab Y. I actually want to put the pivoting point over this intersection here. Grab Y, grab Z, and as you can see the Z, oops, I went too much, grab Z. Okay. Grab Y, grab Y, grab Y, move that mouse just a little bit, there we go, that's a little closer, grab Z. Okay, and I'm just a very hair off to the right, grab Y, and that's pretty close on that intersection. Okay. I'm going to bring this more to the corner, and we're going to bring our cursor up to the right top corner of the work area. We're going to push rotate X, and if you'll notice that my pivot point is on the intersection, so I can bring that line pretty much over the top of this line here. Left click, come out, and then I want to zoom in on the bottom of this hub here where all these points intersect. And if you'll notice, I come all the way down, I'm a little bit off to the top. Again, I'm going to bring the cursor to the right top of the work area, push R, then X, and then I can actually watch that dot, and I can watch that line over the top of that black line. Okay, now that I've done that, and I know that that angle's right, I can come down here because we have these 2 loops. The bottom loop is the 5th loop, and we want to put that vertice dot over that black line where that intersects. So we want to push, grab to Y, line that up by the eyeball, grab to the Z. It's a little closer, get it parallel. We're a little off to the left, grab to the Y again. And that's pretty close right there. And then now I want to zoom in all the way. Okay, and I can grab it to the Z, bring it up just a little bit, about there, grab to the Y, and the line's over the line. That's pretty much where we want it. That's good enough for government work. Okay, now we'll take this and hit Shift D again, which is duplicate, and this time we're going to duplicate on the Z. So we're duplicating it, we're bringing it straight up. We'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fourth line is the one near our nanogon cylinder. Okay, we can grab it Y, bring it over, grab it Z, bring it down. Grab it Z again, bring it down a little bit, grab it Y. Okay, grab it Y, go back here to the left here, grab it Z. Oopsie. Grab it Z, right click to put it back. Right about there, that's pretty close. Let's zoom in and make sure we're centered on the microscopic. We're a little bit off. Grab it Z, and right about there. Scoot this over, control mouse up, shift mouse up. Okay. Now again, I'm going to take my cursor, put it to the right top work area, hit R, then X, and then I can rotate that and have that pivot on that intersection. Get this line pretty close here. Left click. Come back out. Okay, I'm going to put my mouse to the bottom right corner. Click RX. And then I'm going to rotate that to where I get the dot on there. And I see the little yellow center line over the black center line. Left click. Come out. So I know I got my angle right. Come back up into this area here. And we're going to grab to the Y. We're going to try to line that dot up pretty close to being straight up and down with that intersection. We're going to grab it on the Z. Okay, we're a little bit too far out, but now we'll zoom in so we can fine tune it. Grab it on the Y. Grab it on the Z. And that looks good right there. Okay, if it's Z. Okay, now the next one's real interesting because this is what I should have done all along. I'm still doing a little bit the hard way, and I'll show you a little trick here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to push Z so that we can see this again. I'm going to push Shift D on the Z axis. We're going to bring this up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this fourth line here is actually the horizontal line to the center of our cowling circle here. So grab Y, come to the left a little bit. Okay, grab it Y a little bit more. Grab Y a little bit more. We're pretty much centered. We're a little bit past it. Grab Y back to the right. Okay. Control mouse down. We're going to play with this a little bit and get this centered. Grab Y. Grab Z. We're a little off to the right. Zoom it in a little bit. Okay, grab it on the Z and bring it up to where we're kind of parallel there, where you see that little blue line and the yellow line intersect. Grab it Z a little bit more. And that's pretty close. Grab it Y. And zoom in more. Okay, I'm zoomed in all the way, so I need to grab it on the Z, go up just a tad, grab it on the Y, grab it on the Y some more, and grab it on the Z. Okay, grab it on the Y, come over a bit, and that's pretty darn close. And I'm going to push Control, mouse wheel up. I'm going to bring this over here to the side. I'm going to bring the mouse to the right top work area. RX. So you can see that's pretty much on the pivot with the intersections. I'm going to get it pretty much straight. There's no breaks in the line. I'm going to left click there. Come down to my okay, I'm going to bring the mouse to the right bottom of the screen. We're going to push RX, and we're going to straighten that line out to where it's over the top of that, and the dots in the middle, pretty much right about there. This is a little touch. There we go, right there. That looks good. Okay. Now what I was starting to say is when I made this thing, if I would have actually rotated it exactly 90 degrees from the top to the sideways, and I would have brought it down and actually done one of these sides first, then the rest of these, instead of duplicating them on an angle. Okay, now all I got to do with this one is zoom in here and push grab to the Y, and since it's exactly horizontal, I can bring that dot pretty much on that outer line there. Grab Y, just a smidgen like right there. And that's more or less perfectly horizontal as the one is across from it. Those are the only two that are actually on a straight sideline there. Okay. Now, what I want to do is shift duplicate, shift D on the Z axis. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines, which is your nanogon line again. Okay, now I want to shift duplicate this again. Shift duplicate on the Y. We're going to move this one, and we're going to go there, and we're going to go grab Z. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's your fourth line there, and we're going to leave it. We're going to park that right there. We're going to push A to unselect it. We're going to push B for box. We're going to box this one in. And what I was saying is, since this is horizontal, it's easier to grab Y a little bit. Grab Z. It's easier to line the center line up with this intersection here, since when it's horizontal like this. Even though the other line's not, I can zoom this all the way in. Then I can grab it on the Z, and I can line that line right over the top of that intersection line. Then I can zoom back out a little bit, grab Y, grab Y, getting closer, grab Y, a little over, grab Y, and I actually have this zoomed all the way in now. Grab Y, And that looks pretty centered, pretty close. Maybe a hair to the left. Grab Y, just a bump. Grab Y. Yeah, like that. That looks pretty centered. Okay. Now, since I have it there, what I could do is leave it kind of smaller. Rotate X. Bring that pretty close to that line down here. And then I need to zoom in to do the fine adjustment here. Okay, rotate X. There we go. And then it's just a matter of putting our fifth loop dot over the intersection. Grab it Y. About almost like there. Grab it Z. Okay. Gonna grab it Z again. Z. And then grab it Y. Grab it Z, just a bump right about there, and that's gonna call that one good. Okay, now we need to unselect it. And where's Z? 3 on the keypad, Z again. Then we can make a box around this one. Push and B. Okay. Now, another thing, what I could show you, what we could do, we have one cylinder left after this, so what we could do is we could push Shift D on the Y, and we can bring this over, and we can grab it Z, and we can park it right there, and we can Shift Duplicate again on the Y, and we can bring this over, and grab it on the Z, bring it up, and park it there. So we already have our humps ready for the last cylinder. Okay, come back down here, make a box, make another little box, catch the top. Zoom in. We just have to finish off these 2 cylinders, and we will have the little humps on our cylinder bank. And we got to make sure this is 4 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines. Grab it Y, bring it over, grab it Z, bring it up, and again, since this is horizontal, then it's easy that we can just put the center line on this intersection and then line it up. Okay, grab it on the Z, bring this up until we have those intersect. Zoom out a little ways, grab Y, grab Y. That's a little closer until we zoom down all the way in. I'm zoomed all the way in now, but see, it didn't take too long. Grab Y, grab Y, grab Y, come back a little to the right, grab Y, just a bump to the right. Grab Y, another little bump. Too much. Grab Y. Right about there. That's pretty close. Okay, let's push on the Shift and roll. Actually, let's roll it up a little bit. Push on the Control, mouse up. And again, we're going to put the mouser in the top right. RX. And then let's go down to our bottom center. Make sure it's lined up on that line. for the fine tune. Okay. RX. Right about like right there. That line disappeared. Okay. Come back up here. We're going to line up our number 5 loop on that intersection. Grab Y to the right till it looks kind of straight up and down by the eyeball. Grab Z, bring it down. Okay, so we're a hair off to the right. Now we can zoom in a little better. And you should get used, by now you should be used to like knowing you hit the control and which way to roll a mouse wheel to set this stuff up, so I don't have to say it all the time. Grab Y. Grab Z. Grab Y, just yeah, I don't like that. Grab Y a little tad to the left, just right about there, and now grab Z again, grab Z, go just a hair up, and see where that line disappears, and that dot seems to be on there. Like I said, that's good for microscopic. Okay, 3. And right quick, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to File, I'm going to go Save As, and I actually want to save this as 4. And I'm glad I saved it actually once, because I had already screwed it up and had it all connected together, and believe it or not, I had one in the wrong place. I had one on a 3 line and I already had it mothered, and so I'm glad I had it saved on 3 because I could come back and do this. Okay. Let's hit Z. And actually, I think what I'm going to do, hit a box. I'm going to do this top one first. And this is on the 2nd line. We'll make sure on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. See? I did something wrong again. Need to deselect. 1, 2, 3. I have this one on the 3rd line and not on the 4th line. That was the same mistake I already just talked about making. So I need to grab this on the Z, bring it up. So we actually want 2, 3, 4. We actually want 4 lines. It's kind of hard because of the way I'm kind of like looking at the cylinder and not at the lines, the guidelines. So I'm glad I caught that this time. But what I didn't do, actually, I can delete this, delete vertices, and then I can come up to this one that's horizontal, make a box, Shift D, Shift Duplicate on the Y, bring it out, grab Z, bring it down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now here, this is the line where we want to be on this one. So grab Y, grab Z. Okay, now 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4th line, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the 4th line, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the 4th line, which should be 2, 1, 2 from the center. Okay, so, see, I'm glad I cut that, otherwise it would have just made the same exact mistake I already made. Let's get this lined up. Grab Z. Okay, grab it Y, grab Y, grab Y, back to the right a little, that's a little closer, zoom in all the way, okay, grab Y, grab Y, grab Y, there we go, a little bit, okay, that's pretty close, grab Z, And I just need to go just a smidgen to the left. Grab Y. Grab Y. Right there. That's pretty darn close. I think that'll pivot. So we'll bring this up. Okay, and we're going to have R, X. Pivot it down until it's pretty much over that line there. Yellow over the black. And that should be close enough. Then I can go to the bottom center. And I'm off just a hair to the bottom. Not bad though. That's pretty close. Okay, rotate X. And now we got to put it on that 5th loop. Grab Y. Grab Z. Center this up a little bit. Zoom in. Okay, that's all the way in. Grab Y. Grab Z. Grab Y just a smidgen to the left, and we're gonna call that good. So see, once you catch a hang of this, sometimes some of this can go pretty quick if you know what you're doing. Sometimes the trick, like I said, is actually figuring out what kind of a shape you're going to make and how you're going to do it. I've actually had to sometimes think about this. I'm at my other job and I'm sitting there thinking about, okay, how can I do this? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make a box. Let's catch this. Let's control over. And we have the nanogon corner here too, so I'm nice and warm, comfy with the idea that this is the, let's see, grab Y. Grab Z. Let's bring this up to that intersection right there. Oh, grab Y. Let's go about here. Grab Y, come back a little bit. Grab Y, right about there. Okay, now let's start zooming in so we can fine tune this. Grab Z, let's bring this down, let's get that line on that intersection. Let's get it down to the microscopic here. Grab Z. There we go. Grab Y. Grab Y. Grab Y. Oops, too much. We're getting closer. Grab Y, come back to the right. Grab Y. I think that's pretty good right there. Okay, let's come out a little bit over, and let's come up to the right corner, RX. Let's catch that right about there. Click on it. Go down into our bottom center so we can fine tune that angle. Just a hair off to the bottom again. Rotate X. Right there. Bring our point. We're almost done. We got one more to go. And then we will have a engine cowling. Okay, grab to the Z, grab to the Y, grab to the Z and come up. Okay, let me zoom in. Okay, I'm zoomed all the way in, grab to the Y, come over underneath here, grab to the Z, go up till I'm about parallel, grab at Y, grab at Z, and that looks like a pretty good intersection there. Let's push the Z, see how that looks on the outside. Not too bad. 3. Z. Push A to unselect that. Save it. Okay, let's put a box around this. This should be our last one. And we're going to do that on the second line here, which is a little bit over, so let's grab at Y. Grab at Y. Grab at Y, go here back to the right, there we go. Grab at Z. Okay, now let's zoom in. Let's start fine-tuning this pivot. Okay, grab at Y. Grab at Y. Grab at Y. Whoops, way too much. Grab Y back. That's pretty close. Grab at Y, just a little to the left. Oh, that's pretty close there. Okay, grab at Z. Bring this line across that intersection line. And I think that's pretty much got it. Now let's back it out a little bit. Actually, you could back out quite a ways on this, because of the because we're going to go down and fine tune it at the bottom. Okay, let's push rotate RX and get that line pretty much lined up with that one. That's pretty close. Click on it, left click. Let's go down, zoom in on our bottom here. We're just a smidgen off on the right here, or the top. Okay, mouse over. I got my cursor to the right bottom of the screen. We're going to push RX. And we're going to rotate this until... Actually, I went too far. And we're going to watch that line over the other line, and the dot looks like it's over the... pretty much centered over the line. We're going to left click there. And we're going to come up. We're going to put our loop, our 5th loop dot on here. Grab Z. Grab Y. Okay, we're going to come back in here. Gonna zoom in all the way here. Okay, I zoomed in all the way. I'm gonna grab it by the Z. And right about there, we're gonna grab it on the Y, come a little bit left. And actually, I want to go just grab it Z, just a tiny tatty bit up. Too much right there. Grab it Y. And I think that's going to be good for microscopic. Okay. I want to push A to deselect, and I'm going to push Z, and I'm going to look at all of these. And I think I got them where I want them. And like I said, this picture of this engine. Let's see. This picture of this engine, like I said, this is a remote control aircraft engine. So these push tubes, these push rods are real thick. On a real airplane, this would all be somewhat in proportion, but these push rods would be way thinner because it's not 8 inches across this engine or a foot across this engine or 10 or something like that. It's literally 3 feet in diameter. So keeping that in mind, and like I said, and we go to 7, it more closely matches. It looks like I could actually, in real life, maybe move the cylinder bumps, like tighten them up a little bit with each other, but I think for the most part this doesn't look, it looks pretty good from the side. It's pretty close. So if we push our Z and we go to object mode and we select our cylinder here, we can grab it to the X, bring it out here, and we can push delete. Delete it because we don't need that anymore. And the other thing I wanted to do here is we're going to left click on the cowling, and you notice there's a big yellow line around it. Then I'm going to push shift and I'm going to click on this hump. Actually, I'm doing it backwards. I don't want to do that. I want to push deselect. We want to push on the humps first. See how they're all yellow? Then we push shift and click on the shield. Now if you notice, you don't see it right on top, but if you walk it around, there's little orange lines around all of these, and that makes them child objects. And then we want to push Control J, and that just parented them together. So now, if I move that as an object, it will this whole object will move. Like if I grab it to the X, and then if I right click, I put it right back, push A, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you in part 8.